Where?
What?
Where? I can't find it. Who?
What are you looking for?
That England that was before the World Cup, I can't... Can you see it anywhere?
It's
I can't...
disappeared, man. It's
gone,
just
right?
Off. Yeah.
It's gone. I don't know where it's gone. Anyway, we're here. Welcome to My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. The story, if you don't know it, well, Australia has wiped out England and they've gone into the semi-final. This team, which was looking like 6 months ago, like they couldn't win a lottery if they bought all the tickets, has suddenly gone into the semi-finals. They've cleaned the floor with England today. 221 is all England managed, was all out, fell short by 64 runs. Have Zaheer Khan and Robin Uthappa still here with me. Is fair to say, I mean, all these adjectives and these superlatives that I'm using, am I doing justice to the lack of just lacking that England has shown today? Can't even think lack of what? Lack of everything.
See, just about 3 days, 4 days back, we were talking about someone from bottom of the table going up, playing good cricket and going up.
Yeah.
Right? Here we've seen a case of a good team playing bad cricket and coming down. So actually, you know, that England-Sri Lanka game has opened up so many opportunities for the other teams, and that has put pressure on England now. So they've actually made a mess of from the position of strength to get to where they are. So, you know, there is no doubt they still have a chance of qualifying. But they've made it very hard for themselves to go ahead. You know, they have India to play now next, and then they'll have New Zealand game.
Yeah.
So, you know, and New Zealand was table topper till this game. Now Australia, I'm sure, must have gone at the top. So who are we going to blame? You know, the team itself has got to dig deep and somehow shake this pressure off.
But look at what has happened. More than that, the losses. All the losses have come chasing. They never used to lose games chasing. In the last 3 years, well, they've not. I don't think they've lost a game chasing. They've not lost any game chasing.
Against Pakistan. Pakistan has been in that series. Pakistan-England series just leading up to they've been scoring 300 consistently. They've. I think they've just lost track and faith now, and they're getting confused about how to build up their 50 overs innings.
Yep.
And losing those early wickets never really helps, you know. So today's was actually, you know, one of those days where the conditions were in favor of bowlers, and what English bowlers couldn't do, Australian bowlers actually showed that, you know, how to bowl on this track. I think that first hour they just went behind in the game, and once you start the game, such an important game, you start on back foot and so much behind in the game. After that Finch and Warner partnership, it was always going to be difficult. They somehow managed to pull things back. It would have been a disaster of a game, but they managed to pull things back after they corrected that length. But Australia had that advantage of starting the game with that and having those inroads early on in those first 10 overs with 3 wickets. You always know that you're way behind in the game.
Correct. They were always, Robin, so well put, right? The opening partnership that the Aussies got. After that, they just built on it. They got to 285. We felt like, we didn't feel it was short. We felt like it was less than what they could have got, but then that's coulda, shoulda, woulda. In the end, it was more than enough because England just had no idea how to go about this chase.
Okay, let's play a game of presumption. Now, just presume that, or assume that England got off to a start similar to Australia.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be having this discussion right now, right? So the start was all that mattered. Even at the mid-show, we were discussing how the start is going to be critical for England, and Zach was talking about bowling in the clot, and that is exactly what happened. They just bowled in the clot.
A new word.
I'm telling you, we've coined a new phrase today. Somewhere between good length and the slot, which is on pitches like this, which are bowler friendly, is a spot called the clot. The clot is what blocks the batsman. They just can't play at that length.
So
don't never forget who came up with that, all right? GKTM. Desh ka Gaurav.
So that kind of...
They lost that spell of play.
Yeah, if you see the first 2 wickets, testimony of bowling in that zone. You know, just bowling right up, and just how beautifully it did off the wicket as well. Like even Joe Root's wicket, when you see the ball pitching, and from the time it pitched to how it hit the pad, Like it's like as if the ball skidded through and actually increased pace after pitching.
Yeah.
You know, it actually seemed like that on television, but it just didn't lose too much pace after pitching. But that's essentially the zone that they bowled in at the whole time. The Yorker to why these brain fades happen? Ben Stokes. Me and my brain fades.
If you were from Delhi, well, I'll tell you, if you were from Delhi, that would be the first English player name that would come to your mind.
Right.
See, the pause which he took was exactly the speed of the ball was.
There you go.
In that much time, Ben Stokes was
Ben
bowled.
Stokes is gone.
He's gone.
Yeah. So, just just those lengths, when you just watch them overall, the lengths that they hit, even within that Australian team, the lengths that Cummins hit and the lengths that Behrendorff and Starc hit, you saw the difference in the outcomes of that. The outcomes of that were 5 wickets and 4 wickets, and then against Cummins hitting his normal length, which is back over length, was unfortunately didn't get any wickets today.
Yeah, so we obviously always, I mean, we've been talking about England did badly today, but wow, Australian bowlers, just like Zach and Robin are saying that the Aussie bowlers were just magnificent today. Let's have a look at their bowling analysis, and when you see that, you'll understand what Robbie says. It was the Behrendorff and Starc show. It was the two left-armers who pretty much destroyed England. I mean, look at what an inspired selection, by the way. You get a guy into the 11. Right, you get Behrendorff into the 11. You toss him the new ball. He gives you 5 wickets. Captain says, man, Christmas came early.
Yeah.
Well, Jason Behrendorff is very good bowler with the new ball.
Yeah.
You know, any kind of conditions, you know, he can.
He was with you guys, wasn't he?
He can have that kind of impact.
But
yes,
he did play in one game before this, and which we were discussing that he should open the bowling, but he didn't open the bowling.
Exactly.
Cummins opened the bowling.
I think this stack up of overs is just perfect.
Yeah.
Because Cummins has got that pace and the length which is ideal for a one change bowler.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, he can bowl with the new ball, but he's if you have someone who is taking the load of bowling with the new ball, getting in the right areas, and having this kind of impact, then he can shift his role. More ideal or suited to shift his role than someone like Coulter-Nile or Jason. You know, Jason, if he's bowling with the old ball, his effectiveness goes down. You've seen it with the back end in the innings as well.
Yeah.
Predominantly because he doesn't have the pace. But with the new ball, he's got that presentation of the seam, gets the ball to come back into the right-hander, has got that extra bounce as well. But he needs that ball to be harder and new, and his areas are pretty consistent. With Mitchell Starc as well, you know, he can really get the ball fuller. So with the new ball, you need someone to get all the dismissals into play. You know, you can get someone out leg before wicket, bowled or caught behind. So once you have those kind of options, you know, then you always, at least you should ask those questions as a new ball bowler to the batsman, where he's fearful of getting out in 3 ways than just one, because if you're putting the ball just back of the length, it becomes easier for batsmen as well. And you've seen it with Bairstow as well. Any ball which was too full or too short, he was able to hit shots.
Yeah.
And we spoke about in the mid show as well that reading the length well, and that's what Ben Stokes did. Yes, it was an old ball, but still, you know, he had a plan. He was hanging on the back foot, especially to Nathan Lyon, making sure that he's collecting those runs. He stepped out when the ball was not reaching to him. So that shows that Australians were precise with their lengths. And as a batsman, you have to make the play than just waiting for a loose delivery.
Now, here's the thing. Now with England, with this loss, they're staring down the barrel. Now, suddenly you have favourites who are going, oh, we may not qualify. There's a very strong possibility.
This is very much like a lot of IPL teams that start off brilliantly.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the league stage, they're suddenly like struggling to find a place in those playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, it's similar to that. So this tournament is going to be a lot about momentum. You know, going forward into this tournament, going to the next stage.
Yeah.
So it's about respecting the momentum that you've created, and that means in this form of the game, ticking the right boxes, the processes, making sure those are fulfilled, and you know, then you're moving forward. Those are the aspects that become very critical in this version of the game.
Yeah.
And that's why we speak about processes so much, because the starts become so much more crucial. Whether you're bowling or you're batting first, partnership becomes very, very, very crucial. Partnership breakers become very much crucial. So all these aspects are points that need to be ticked along during a course of an innings. And the more respect that is given to these aspects, then the results take care care of themselves. I'm sure Australia went in there thinking, first 10 overs, let's look to get 2 or 3 wickets. And they achieved that. And the byproduct of that is they win the game by 60 runs.
Yeah, when you were talking about the IPL team saying, oh, start strong, don't finish, Zaheer Khan was sitting there going, what you talking about? We start strong, we finish strong. We win the trophy. I'm still wearing my MI colours. Yeah, you are. You are. But my issue, we just go back to the toss. You and Morgan, Robbie, as a batsman, tell me this. The batting unit has failed chasing in this tournament. The 2 losses they had were chasing. You win the toss. Just bat first when you have the pressure on you. I know we spoke about it in the pre-game and we said, okay, the nerves will settle down. But now that you're looking, you're saying they've got 3 losses. All 3 have happened chasing.
But that would be reactive captaincy, right? It won't be backing your...
Proactive, okay.
Yeah, it won't be proactive. It'll be very reactive to what's happening to them at that given point in time. So that's going to add more pressure to them.
Yeah.
They'd rather operate from a place where they're saying, okay, we're going to back ourselves and go there and give our best.
I would actually go half an hour prior to the toss. You know, half an hour prior to the toss when both the teams were warming up, you know, you could see the energy in both the teams.
Yeah.
Like one team was looking relaxed, they're joking around, you know, having a good laugh around, just going on about a routine kind of a day.
Yeah.
And other team was looking a bit tense,
wired,
tentative, having a huddle, having some kind of discussions, trying to get the conversations going. Looked like, you know, they were going to be tentative. It's just that how quickly you shake off that tentativeness and get to doing the right things matters. And to me, today's game was story of 1 hour each innings.
The first spell of play in each innings.
Exactly. So the first 15 overs
won by Australia.
Of bowling for England was tentative. They fell behind in the game. First 1 hour of batting when it was important that they set the tone. They lost 3 wickets. 3 or 4 wickets in
Look at 0 to 20, Zach. Just to add to what you're saying, look at 0 to 20. On one side, you have 110 for no loss, and on the other side, you have 91 for 4. That's the story.
That's the game.
That's the game.
Yep.
Then you're always behind in the game. So, you know, what are we talking about? England bowled first. They didn't start well, but they managed to pull things back.
Yeah. But that's just a consolation prize.
While batting, started badly, and then they managed to get to 220 or 30. You know? So that's so you are behind in the game through and through.
So basically, in both innings, in the first 10 or 20 overs, Australia has given the knockout punch to England, and then England has just sort of managed to get up and they're wobbling, but you don't get any credit for that. You don't get credit for being woozy and wobbling, because in the end, it is a knockout, and that's exactly what has happened. You know, there are wins and then there are knockouts. Today, fair to say this is a knockout.
This was a knockout. Yeah. Fair to say.
TKO. Total. TKO. It's a total knockout.
Yeah.
Look at the points table. Let's have a quick look. Repercussions for England and, of course, joy for Australia. Australia has got a queue ahead of their name. Man, can I tell you something? If you had asked me to bet a dollar on this happening, of Australia being the first team to qualify 6 months ago, I would have said, you're silly. I'm not even wasting $1 on this. Right? And look at them. Look at this turnaround.
Yeah.
Right? The first team to qualify, they're up there, they're sitting pretty, they're going to the semi-final, and suddenly you're going, 1 second, was that 12-month hiccup, that 14-month hiccup? Who was that? I don't know. Suddenly you're looking for the dominant England, and you're also looking for that lost Australia. Oh, where's that? Oh, that Australia doesn't exist anymore. We're world beaters, Australia. We're 5-time champions. We're defending champions. We're Australia. We're in the semi-finals. Come join us up here. This is a booster shot to their confidence. Like, I don't know if there's really a tangible equivalent for the kind of booster shot their confidence will get.
Absolutely, you know, they've done well this tournament. You know, Australians have been picking their game match by match. You know, they came into the tournament as a side which was just finding form, getting some wins under belt. But they've grown in confidence as the tournament has gone by, and they will be very, very happy and confident to get that cue now, and they have the history of winning so many World Cups as well. So that's why no one was really writing off Australia, even when they were going through a rough patch in terms of not winning matches and losing series by series, because everyone knew that, you know, there are certain players who will be back for the big tournament. Mitchell Starc was not playing most of the matches. So was Pat Cummins. So that's something, you know, they've been resting their main players, keeping World Cup in mind. They were preparing for the World Cup.
So you don't write them off. I know nobody can ever write Australia off, but did you expect them to be this dominant? First team to qualify, 2 weeks of qualifying still left. I don't know. I did.
It does seem like a very Clark Kent, Superman kind of situation, right? Because 6 months ago they were like Clark Kent, and you're like, who's that guy? He's even invisible in the office, right? And then suddenly you look at when push comes to shove, Superman's right up there, right? So it's that kind of a situation. But you have to give credit to the fact that these two world-class players were a miss in this. Right, and I can go on to say three, including Starc, who was also a miss.
Starc and Cummins were not playing ODI.
I once said sometime earlier that he just looks like he's playing World Cup to World Cup, peppered with a few matches in between. That's how it seems like his career is. He doesn't really play a lot of cricket outside of Test cricket between two World Cups. So he's predominantly fresh, and he's always a good performer in World Cups. In the previous World Cup, he was the highest wicket taker. So is he here right now.
He's top of the charts now.
He's top of the charts
top of the pops.
So, there are, and for some reason, the Aussies have some X factor about them when it comes to the World Cups. It's like they know how to win these tournaments. It's like how Bombay know how to win Ranji Trophy. It's like they have that thing, it's that trick up their sleeve, right? They've won it so often. They know that when they get to that stage, they know that nobody's better than them at that.
Wow.
So it's just like a confidence, but it's more a psychological confidence. So, and when you have the likes of the most successful Australian captain sitting in there in the dressing room, telling them what to do, how to deal with stuff, how to deal with the pressures of it, it just makes it so much more easier for the person within that group.
Wow. Sorry, we've spoken about the batting and bowling. Just for a quick 30 seconds, let's talk about the fielding as well, because there was day and night between the fielding efforts of both the teams, wasn't there, Zach?
Amazing. Today, I think it was a top-notch fielding effort from Australia, especially that catch of Maxwell as well. Khwaja's catch to dismiss Butler was special. So they've been outstanding on the field today. So I think they sensed it, and plus when they're playing against England, they have this edge also to their game, which they go a notch higher. So I think it just fell into place for Australia perfectly when England coming into the game under pressure and them being in a relatively stronger position. I think the important game for Australia of this World Cup was the West Indies game. I think their World Cup stint would have been a completely different kind of a stint if they not won that game against West Indies, which was just their second game.
And what a win it was.
Won by 15 runs. They were completely out of the game by having lost those 4-5 wickets. That would have derailed their World Cup campaign, with so many different suggestions and thoughts coming in terms of understanding what combinations to play. When you have a game like that early on in the tournament, it just calms your nerves down as a group. And then it was easier for them to move on from there in terms of confidence and backing each other. Because when you have four points on the board, playing a tough game, suddenly things starts to fall into place.
And for England, they need things to fall into place really quickly. They don't have much time. They don't have much leg room. 2 games to play, India and New Zealand. Ewan Morgan, after the game, said that, our fate is still in our hands. We're not too worried. I think these are just words.
Well, yeah,
these are just words.
I remember that game against Pakistan just before the toss. Something that he mentioned that just kind of gave me an insight into is probably his mindset. So he said, this game is important for us, and we will first he said that when we qualify, and then he stopped himself and he said, if we qualify. And I'm like, why did he change that? Because if you're going into a game and your favorites in the tournament, you should be thinking really positively, we'll get in. In your mindset, you should be that. So maybe there's a lot that there's something that we don't know that's prevalent within the dressing room, or just that the loss against Pakistan has really shaken them up, opened up the tournament, caused haywire within that table right now. But he doesn't seem like he's very assertive as a captain, if I may say so right now. And it seems like even that press conference yesterday where he mentioned what he did about
Steve
Smith and David Warner, it's not Owen. Owen's a very different personality. That's never like him, and that's very unlike him.
He was at KKR with you as well.
And I was also with him in RCB, so I know him. And he's a very gentle human being. He's a very, very nice person. It's very strange to hear him say those things. So clearly he was trying to deflect the pressure that he was feeling as the leader of England. But I think what he's saying right now are just words, and he's really feeling the fire.
Yeah, could be. They need those 2 wins. Let's pull up the points table one final time to look at what can happen to England. England right now definitely need those 2 wins to get to 12 points because 10's just not going to cut it. 10's not going to be good enough. It's pretty clear now.
Okay, I have a question to you
Yes.
both. Now, if the top 3 qualify, who is your 4th team to qualify to this World Cup semi-final?
Wow, that's
Who is
tough.
your 4th team to qualify?
Yeah, Australia, New Zealand, India. Top 3 teams. Who's the 4th team to qualify?
See, you have to take into considerations the fixtures which
Yeah.
are lined up now. I think
Yeah.
I think that way tomorrow's game becomes most important game
Yeah.
now going forward because you have
Pakistan has to beat New
playing
Zealand.
Yeah.
If Pakistan beats New Zealand, then after that they have Afghanistan, which they will back themselves to win, and they have Bangladesh. That will be another interesting game of the
Yeah.
tournament.
Yeah.
Because Bangladesh is also on.
It'll be a
on
knockout. I'm
7
telling
points.
you, it'll be a knockout.
Yeah, it'll be an East versus West kind of thing.
So I think right now, when you look at the table, it's about who can get to 11 and who is going to end up on 10 points. If someone
Yeah.
is going to end up on 10 points, they will be dependent on the other results.
Okay, let's see. Who
So-
can? So
but who do
you
you feel
have
is that way?
Bangladesh can get to 11. Sri Lanka can get to 12. Pakistan can get to 11.
See, Sri Lanka has to get to 12,
If they have to qualify.
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah, Ken's not good
they have
enough. They have to win 3
two
games.
no they have 2 washed
Okay,
out games.
so what if you
if
look-
the points are equal,
Yeah.
then the first thing they look at is the number of wins.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
there,
yeah.
Sri Lanka has a disadvantage.
Correct.
If they finish on 10 points, and say England wins one of the 2 games and they're on 10 points, and Pakistan manages to lose say 2 games, they finish on 9, right? Because Bangladesh and Pakistan can finish on 9 or they can finish on 11, depending on how their tournament goes. So in that case, England goes through.
Yeah.
If England and Sri Lanka are tied on.
Yeah.
So all in all, I think, England has made this World Cup interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And
They've been very good hosts.
Yeah. and this is what I was worried about personally. Like, in 3 days back, it would have been if England had beaten Sri Lanka, the table would have been pretty much sealed. You know that England is on 10 points.
4 decided.
India,
Yeah, 4 would have
India
decided.
11,
4 decided.
11 points they'll get to. You already have a queue now. Australia is done. So New Zealand wants to win one more game, or they have a decent net run rate as well. So even if they manage to lose all the games,
Yeah.
they'll still have a better chance of qualifying unless they lose by huge margin and the net run.
But now there's the middle muddle.
So
What I like
So
to
what is
call
the
the
middle
middle
muddle?
muddle.
I have a theory.
Yes.
So my theory
Good
is,
student.
so you take that table. So if you can just put that table back on top, I'll explain to you. So the top 3 teams,
Yeah.
what are they doing right? What's working for them as a team? Their batsmen at the top of the order are firing,
Yes.
and their bowlers at the top of the order, at the top of their pecking order, are firing. Their wicket takers and their run getters within that side.
Yes.
And they're fielding pretty decently. Now, those top 3 teams, all of them are doing. You can pick out names from them, and you'll find them in the top run getters, top wicket takers list.
Yes.
Come down the order, and then you see in England that's not available. As in, that's not happening. It's not available. It's definitely available. It's not happening. With Bangladesh, the batting is truly firing, but the bowling isn't.
Yeah.
With Sri Lanka, the bowling is fairly decent. The batting isn't.
Nice. Okay.
Right? You come to Pakistan and you see you feel like they're the only team that have the bowling firing and the batting has fired in patches.
Yeah.
And you feel like they have a chance to make it to that top 4. For some reason, I feel Pakistan will make it to that top 4.
I like that.
Just
Nice.
based
Interesting.
on this theory.
Because they're going to come from
Not
soup
taking-
and just overtake.
I think for Pakistan, the whole criticism and what was happening after the India game has just kind of fired them up.
Yeah,
it
of
was
course.
a very difficult phase for them. Those 5-6 days, and looks like they've put in enough work. They're very keen to turn things around, and as a team, there is only one way to shut everyone up and get that whole momentum going the other way is by winning matches
By winning
and
games.
qualifying.
Yeah.
So I think the best thing which Pakistan should focus look to do or to focus on is to get to that 11 points.
Yeah.
If you get to 11 points and you don't qualify, it's fine. You'll live with that.
Yeah.
And similarly with Sri Lanka as well. They will be very upbeat now going in the
Correct.
next match.
Yeah.
So yeah, this exciting few days coming up. Some interesting.
Yeah, because suddenly for Sri Lanka, you really want Avishka Fernando to come good because he played really well in the last game. You want Kusal Mendes and Dimut Karunaratne to come good at the top of the order. If they come good, then the bowling is pretty good to kind of manage any total that's there. And you want Malinga to fire in every game because the games he's fired in, Sri Lanka have won.
Yep.
Right? So that becomes extremely critical. How long can Malinga sustain these performances that he's been producing? That becomes extremely important to Sri Lanka's success. Whereas in Pakistan, you know Amir is firing, you know Wahab Riaz is firing, Shaheen Afridi bowled pretty well, Shadab Khan is bowling decently. So you know that the bowling is doing very well. With their batting, you know Babar Azam scoring runs. Imamul Haq and Fakhar Zaman are amongst runs. Mohammad Hafiz has scored runs.
Yeah.
And now the guy in the middle order, lefty who just scored, Haris Sohail scored some runs in the last game. So you see like their batting has come together. The only thing I think Pakistan have to stop doing is giving press conferences and reading the newspaper. They have to stop doing that because that's what messes.
And all of them going to the press conferences have to stop saying, "Hi, main mar jawa. Main mar jawa. Stop it. Stop it. Don't do it.
Stop doing all of that.
Yeah.
Just focus on the game because it's like they have everything going their way right now. They just don't need these things from outside. They really need to value that all these things are going well. They need to improve their fielding, definitely.
Don't read the newspapers.
Yes, just don't read the newspapers.
Which team is on number 2nd? You'll be surprised. Who is on the most missed chances?
Most missed chances?
Yeah.
England. Most missed catches, fielding.
Most missed catches.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Pakistan has missed 14. They've dropped 14 catches. And England has got 12 or 13.
Oh.
11 or 12, I thought.
Yeah.
But still, bad enough. Anything more than
Butler's
one per game.
Yeah, that was, and for his standards, that should have been.
Yeah, Butler's, really, for England, it's a day that they want to forget. But this forgettable day for England may just become a memorable day for Pakistan, Bangladesh or Sri Lanka. What I call the little Asia Cup subplot that is brewing in the World Cup. Evil laugh. All right, nothing evil about the most valuable player that we have today. My 11th circle MVP is Jason Behrendorff. No surprise at all with his 5 wickets. I don't know how many of you had him in your My 11th circle team, but the ones who did, ka-ching, points galore for you guys. And also our winner for today, this is the person who is our Beat the Expert champion, My 11th circle. Santosh P from Karnataka, 540 points. You've got your cap on, sir, but we doff our hat to you, Santosh. Congratulations. You have done really well. We've got the joy factor. I really want to give the joy factor answer and the winner's name before we do the preview of tomorrow's game.
Yeah,
Can I do that?
Yeah.
I'm just so curious about that.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Do that. We'll just show you the question, right? We'll do a
all over
short
the shop
preview of tomorrow's game, but I want to... If it was an Oscar and Grammy Award winner in 2003 and a player nicknamed England's Umbrella in 2009, who's it going to be in October? Wait, don't put the answer yet. So I was told. The first one is Tim Rice, 2003. Let me give the names and see if you guys can get it. We'll still open the question for a bit.
Is it Tim Rice or Stephen Fry?
Not Stephen Fry. Tim Rice. 2009 was Derek Pringle. Derek Pringle?
I don't know.
Was it or Derek Underwood?
See, for that, we should know what are we talking about.
Yeah, like I don't even know what you're talking about.
So, okay.
What are you talking about?
Talking about ICC presidency. It's Kumar
Okay, yeah, so start with that.
Give me the answer. Just give you the answer. Let's show you the answer real quick. Just
ICC presidents?
So, MCC, sorry.
Dude.
MCC. Sorry. It's a question, answer, everything is confusing.
He just makes Sangha the ICC president.
In this, everything is confusing. MCC. 3 dandas I forgot. Add the 3 dandas to the eye, you get the MCC. Add the 3 stumps in different order. Songwriter Tim Rice is the Grammy winner. Derek Underwood was known as England's umbrella because apparently he always got wickets when it rained. And then Kumar Sangakkara is going to be the next president of the MCC. Should someone get this right?
No.
This is a finals kind of question. It really is. Let's see who got it right. We have somebody. One winner. Shreyam Nigam, congratulations, man. Well done. Shreyam, I don't know how you knew this. I don't know if Joy is your neighbor. I don't know if you currently are holding him hostage. I don't know, but you won. You won, right? You won. Well done. Well done, Shreyam Nigam. It really was a difficult one today. Joy, if you're listening for tomorrow, can you just
Yeah, just a little bit.
just for us mortals, just a little bit. Just remember, if a bouncer is so high, it's called a white ball. Just keep it around here. Tap it over.
That's damn good.
All right, well, let's quickly have a look at tomorrow's game. Very important game. For who? Well, for Pakistan, definitely. As we were talking, Pakistan really need to win every game of theirs, and New Zealand will want to win tomorrow so they can get a Q ahead of their name, just like their trans-Tasman rivals. Australia have got this match, of course, is happening in the province of Punjab, known as Birmingham. So, there's going to be pretty large number of Asian supporters. It is. It's a district in Punjab, Birmingham. But tomorrow's game, Pakistan, New Zealand. Let's have a look at Pakistan's side and see if they'd want to make any changes. I really doubt it, though. If you look at this 11,
they shouldn't.
It's settled. Pakistan team is settled. They'll go with the same momentum and the playing 11 in the next match. They want to just
Sarfraz Ahmad, floater, not number 5.
replicate. Sarfraz Ahmad is floater.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he said he will bat at number 5 only.
Float him downwards, perhaps?
Floating behind the crease, floating in the batting order.
Yeah.
He'll do that.
Yeah. Floats behind the wicket also a lot.
Yeah.
He really reminds me, I'm kidding you not.
Especially when he appeals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes in like from wicket keeper's position to first slip to second slip to third. Just moves like that.
Out and then to the boundary line, taxi, back to the hotel, change, shower, come back.
And then he reviewed it
Yeah.
in the previous match and it was not out.
Yeah. That's because he had messed up his whole line of vision, right? So by the end, he had forgotten.
Blurred lines.
What it blurred lines. Ravandik. And also, sometimes when a bowler does badly, he always reminds me of, I think I said this once before, of how my parents used to be after my result used to come out. Just, फिर fail हो गया बेटा. Again you failed. How you did this again? He always, it's a study in contrast. A lot of captains, how they react. I also said this to Ashwin, by the way. I told him he was very funny during every last over of Kings 11 Punjab whenever he'd be standing at mid-off. And I said, you always had this disappointed mother look. सब कुछ दिया मैंने तुझको, सब कुछ दिया. तूने फिर भी offside में ball डाल दी.
No, but last game he was spot on. Like he was good with his captaincy. He was choosing the right bowlers. He had this fifth bowler using up front.
Oh, I have no problem. His captaincy is on.
Show emotions, barring that appeal which I'm talking about, was pretty much in control. So I think he had a decent control.
We need characters. We need characters like that in the game.
That was a meme-worthy appeal, and I've seen a meme of it. I saw a meme of Imran Tahir's celebration where he's running through bridges and
on the moon and
on Mars and
the rings of Saturn
and all of that. Yeah, that one of this will follow, I'm pretty certain.
I think we'll try to look for it and put that up right now. We'll look for it. Just follow us on our respective Twitter or Instagram. We'll put that meme up. I'm sure there's one of him sliding sideways and then just leaving and going through fields and everything. All right, so that's Pakistan, of course, tomorrow. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They wouldn't want to change that team. They've got something out of pretty much everyone over there. And if you think, talking about set teams, it's really two really set 11s that are playing tomorrow, because with New Zealand again, they're coming out of that tie against West Indies, that game against the West Indies, with Carlos Brathwaite and his bat being on fire the last couple of days. But they're not going to change this team, are they?
They might debate about playing Ish Sodhi, because the previous match they played in Birmingham, if I'm not mistaken, was South Africa.
In place of Matt Henry?
Which was a low-scoring match. 240. They had to really scratch through to win that match. Grandom played a good innings. He had played for Warwickshire County, so that ground he certainly fancies playing on. He's pretty much aware of the wicket. So yeah, we'll have to see whether there might be one change, which is a tactical change from New Zealand. Apart from that,
Ish Sodhi for Matt Henry?
Ish Sodhi for Matt Henry, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, you think so as well?
Yeah, if they have to change one bowler, the replacement would have to be for Matt Henry, because everybody else, Jimmy Neesham is bowling really well, Ferguson is bowling really well. So, Grandholm is there, bowls well, Bolt is there, he's irreplaceable. So, he would be the guy that would have to.
But that would be a horses for courses change, as you like to call it.
A tactical change, not a force, not a form change.
All right, it's going to be a solid game tomorrow, really well. And of course, we'll be here to talk a lot more about it at 2:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time on Wednesday. Of course, you can make your team and you can do it right now. Get a head start on everybody else. My 11 Circle, you have the app, choose the game. It is Pakistan playing New Zealand. Choose your 11. I'm going to ask Zach and Robin, who is the one player you should. So give me a wild card. Like today, Jason Behrendorff would have been a wild card choice, right? So give us a wild card that somebody should have in their team tomorrow. Who's going to come from where? You never know. Who's going to do a Haris Sohail in the last match? Who's he going to be?
Wahab Riaz, maybe.
Yes.
Wahab Riaz. I like that call.
Because he's been unlucky, isn't it? So far, he's been bowling so well, just not getting that bit of luck. Eventually, he had to go and hit the stumps to get wickets.
Yeah, really. So sad.
Catches have been dropped.
I think 4 or 5 catches in his bowling have been dropped in this World Cup. 4 or 5 catches.
We'll have to find that stat.
Yeah, mine is
catches
Wahab Riaz has been dropped.
Yours is also
100%.
Okay, mine's going to be Mitch Santner. Come on.
Nice.
Just go left field, no? Just go left field. Go do it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen tomorrow. All right.
Left armers day today. That's why he's backing left armer for tomorrow as well.
It's
left
armers day today. Yeah, that's right. You should be happy I'm picking a left armer.
Very happy.
Yeah?
देश का गौरव very happy.
सिर्फ एक ही देश का मुझे तो लगा था देश का चलो कोई बात नहीं I'm very happy to be India's Gaurav. All right, we have our Cricbuzz का Gaurav. He is our sweet delicious breakfast pastry. I'm talking about Danish. Danish said sweetie pie, and he decided to walk down memory lane. But see, now the thing is, when we talk about 1983, we don't have to walk that far down memory lane. For a youth like Danish, you just got to pretty much take a car and go all the way down memory lane to 1983. But he's got a really special piece for us with a little bit of nostalgia, and we're going to leave you with that as we bid you good night. As I said, we're going to see you tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. India Standard Time. So all we have time for on My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. A big thank you to Zaheer Khan and to Robin Uthappa. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Gaurav Kapur, a.k.a. Desh Ka Gaurav. We'll see you tomorrow. Over to you, Danish.
Hey everybody, my name is Danish and this is Centre Stage on Cricbuzz, and we're here at the Old Trafford in Manchester. 36 years ago on the 25th of June, India ignited the flame of cricket in our country by winning the World Cup, and this is where their journey started in 1983. Let's talk about that first game that happened right here in this stadium. Yashpal Sharma was the star in that game, and the entire West Indian team thought they'd just steamroll us and knock us out of the tournament. But the story was different, and India started to shine early. When you think of the 1983 World Cup, everyone talks about 17 for 5. Well, I know another number, 66 for 1. Are you wondering what that is? Well, basically, back in the day, if you were betting and if you put your money on India, for 10 pounds, you'd make 66 back. So essentially, if you put your money on the finals, you would have made 670 pounds by just placing a bet of 10 bucks. India did become numero uno in the World Cup in 1983, but before they won the World Cup, they only had one victory to show to the world. 1975 East Africa, that's the only World Cup win they had. But when they came in here, they were surely the underdogs, but they overhauled everyone and won. Too many ones. That 1983 batch was known as Kapil Dev's batch, and there were some very bright students there, and there was another student, very bright, very quiet, and somewhere tucked in the corner. In fact, the only time he stepped onto the field was to help Vengsarkar when Malcolm Marshall hit him with the ball. I'm talking about Sunil Walson. He got a medal for playing the World Cup, or for helping Vengsarkar limp off the field. He was there. Somewhere. I hadn't finished sipping my cup of tea and half the team was back in the dressing room. I was a part of the squad, but I was getting treated at a hospital in London. Dilip Vengsarkar and Roger Binney speak about where they were when Kapil Dev scored that massive 175. It is the greatest knock the world has ever seen in a World Cup. No, 1 second. The world didn't see it because BBC's crew was missing from Tunbridge Well. They didn't show it to the world. But then India won that game, so all's well that Tunbridge's well. Lata Mangeshkar loves cricket. It's true. In fact, in 1983, when the Indian team won the World Cup, the Indian Cricket Board didn't have enough money to give the players the prize amount. So Lata Didi performed at a concert, collected 20 lakh rupees, and each player took 1 lakh rupees home. How cute. Step into modern day Twitter and you'll see so many people talking about commentators and the quality of their commentary. Now let's step back to 1983 when Farooq Engineer was on air with another commentator on BBC, and that commentator asked him, if India win the World Cup, will it be a public holiday? And Farooq Engineer was just about to answer that question when a call was relayed from the Indian government to the BBC office and then to Lords to say yes, if India wins the World Cup, there will be a holiday. And boy, 1983, there was a holiday after India won the World Cup. Everyone keeps talking about 83, but I'm going to look at it a little differently and call it 38. You know why the number is significant? It is the highest ever lowest number of runs scored in a final. Chris Srikanth scored 38 runs and it was so low but still so high. Why? In 1996, Arvinda De Silva won the man of the match in the semi-finals and the finals. But this wasn't the first time it happened. In 1983, Mohinder Amarnath was the man. And talking about firsts, India won the World Cup that year. And who would imagine that the first steps to such a huge cricketing history in our country would begin at this place here in Manchester?